Wolfpack, thanks for joining in today. My name's Coleman Simpson. I'm the College of Ag and Life Sciences Scholarship Coordinator. Today, we're going to talk about some ways we can enhance our scholarship application process. I'm joined by our Career Services Director Extraordinaire, Sara Lane. Thanks for joining today, Sara. How are you?
Hey, I'm well. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm excited to talk about scholarships, and we're going to do this in a fun way. We're going to talk about resumes, which is why I have Sara joining us today.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me join. I'm excited to talk about resumes and how students can use them to do a better scholarship application.
Absolutely. So Sara, I have a few questions for you, and we'll just have a quick conversation about it if that works.
Yeah, let's go.
So when we have students preparing for scholarships, I mean, we've all been a student once upon a time, and we kind of tend to wait till the last minute, and when we do that, we tend to forget things, we rush, and we're just maybe not as focusing on our detail as we could be. So I know there's the concept of the running resume where you kind of list everything. So can you tell us about the importance of having a running resume and what that can do for us when we're preparing for our applications and essays?
Yeah, you know, students today are incredibly busy, and every day they're accomplishing so much, whether it's in the classroom, in work, or internships, or other ways of getting experience, or in clubs, community activities. And as you're so busy and going through all these different things, it can be really easy to forget some of the accomplishments that you've made and some of the things that you've done over time. And so it's helpful to every once in a while sit down and list out some of the things that you've been working on, what accomplishments, like things that you've done in clubs or in work experiences that you've had. And basically make a resume that is as long as you want it to be, that lists all these different things. Then you can pick and choose when you're applying for a job, or in this case, applying for a scholarship, pick and choose the things that are most relevant and most important to bring out. But keep that, long resume for your mom or dad at home to be proud of you.
Yeah, I think we all want to celebrate our accomplishments. That's a great point. No, thanks for that, Sara. That's really awesome. So Sara, when students are putting together resumes, what are some of the common mistakes you see that they make?
One thing that we see is, we just talked about that running resume where it could be as many pages as you want, but a lot of times students will put too many things on their resume. And when we're applying for whether it's a job or internship or a scholarship, you really want to focus on the things that are most relevant to what you're applying for and that are the most impressive and are really going to give the person reviewing your materials the best impression of you. So when you're putting together your resume or a scholarship application, you want to make sure to focus on the highlights and the most important experiences and skills that you have to bring to the table. Another thing that I think students do a lot of times on resumes that doesn't help them very much is they just let little mistakes get through. Misspellings, punctuation or formatting errors. And even when you're doing a scholarship application, you want to make sure that you're reviewing it very carefully to make sure that you've written it well, that it doesn't have any mistakes, so that, again, you're presenting yourself and putting your best foot forward.
No, that's a great point. I mean, how many times have we seen someone say, great attention to detail, and then completely misspell 7 or 8 words?
Way too many times, that's for sure.
It definitely happens. No, that's great feedback, especially about, finding what's relevant, finding the most important pieces. Students, just a reminder, in PAC-Assist, you only have a certain word and character limit you can do, and so we want to know everything about you, but the system won't let us do that. So that's a really great point. So kind of flipping it from talking about mistakes, what are some things you've seen that students can do in their resume and turning that into cover letters or essays or word entries that really stand out, that help them stand out and be successful and competitive applicants for anything?
So, when you think about putting yourself forward, you want to think about the specifics and the stories that make you who you are and that show off your accomplishments. So if you've been working at a coffee shop and you have increased customer satisfaction through surveys by 10%, or you've received a 5 stars reviews from your customers, you can put that specific detail on your resume or on your scholarship application. So as you're thinking about the scholarship application, as you're writing a cover letter or doing your resume, you want to focus on what are specific details of accomplishments that you've had. You want to focus on specific stories. As you're doing your essays for the scholarship application, if you can give a specific example or a story of an experience that you've had that illustrates what the point you're trying to make about yourself, that is going to be far more compelling to the person who's reading it than to just speak in generalities about the things that you've done.
I agree. I think sharing those specific pieces, if I got 5-star customer ratings on my place of work, I would love to share that with other people. So like I kind of mentioned, PackAssist is a great application, but there are some limitations in terms of what we can submit, what we can write. And there's actually an essay portion where students, it says, tell us anything else you want to share with us. Students also get to put their extracurriculars, their work experience, honors, achievements, service. And so when students are taking their information from their resume to their application, whether it's in a text box entry or a long format essay, what have you seen kind of be successful? Are students, writing long paragraphs? Are they doing bullet points? Could it depend? What do you suggest?
Yeah, so for the essays, definitely you want to make it in paragraph format. For the portions where you're putting in your specific experiences, like you put in your job title, you put in the employer, and then you put details about your experiences, I would recommend doing a great job on your resume, coming to Cal's Career Services and getting us to help you to refine your resume and make it as strong as possible. And then just copy and paste the bullet points from your resume directly into that description. That's going to be really simple and easy for you to do. The other thing is whether it's in an essay or even in the little text boxes where you're adding details about your experiences, you want to make sure that you're pulling forward the most impressive experiences, the most relevant experiences. So for example, say you're an animal science student and you're applying for scholarships, but then you worked at a summer camp a few years ago. You're probably not going to want to say a lot about your summer camp experience because you've had so many great animal science related experiences since then. And so you want to really make sure that you're choosing relevant examples. However, if you have an experience that maybe isn't as relevant, but you think is really important, really impressive, you can include that. You just need to tie it into the skills and the things that you gained from that experience that are going to make you a great leader in agriculture and life sciences in the future. So for example, you worked at the summer camp. I'm sure you learned a lot about relationship building. You learned a lot about problem solving. You learned a lot about collaborating with a team of people. All of those things are skills that are going to make you a great leader in ag and life sciences and a great scholarship applicant.
Yeah, I remember when I was applying to school, I wanted to be an ag teacher and I was a theater kid. And I actually wrote about that in my essay and people were like, I don't know why you're doing that. And I said, well, I can talk about how those skills have helped me develop a show presence, it can help me change a room, it can help me develop empathy, and it got me into college. So I completely agree. Finding those relevant pieces and finding those compelling pieces are awesome. So I think we're almost at the end of our time, Sarah. My very last question to you is, if students want to get resume help, if they want career help, how can they contact you and your team?
Thank you so much for asking, Coleman. We love to see students, and really the earlier the better. So whether you're a first-year student or if you're a senior, as soon as possible, come in and see us so that we can help you refine your resume and get it ready for whatever you might be applying for in the future. You can make an appointment with us on ePack. So you can just Google NC State ePack to find the page, or it's go.ncsu.edu/ePack. Just log on with your NC State credentials and you'll be able to go to the appointments tab and select an appointment at a time that works for you.
Fantastic. Thanks, Sarah. I really appreciate you joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Coleman.
Absolutely. Well, Wolfpack, we hope you're walking away with a few tidbits on how to enhance your scholarship application. As always, if you need help with scholarships, feel free to reach out to Cals_scholarships at ncsu.edu to schedule an appointment.